Okay, so there's this big bash, right? Party, bash, whatever you want to call it. And, it's up in Manhattan. That's expensive, but you know, it's my anniversary with Sue. 6 years we've been together. I'm still staring at the prettiest little girl I ever seen. That whole town's filled with models and actress types and beautiful people. I'm still very much in love. Seriously. So 6 of us decided to go, and you know, me and Sue were dancing around. She gets tired, says she wants to go back up to the room, take a little cat nap. Now, it was about maybe 1:30 in the morning. So she and the girls going back up to the room, and I was a touch bored. So to the boys, I say, you know, let's go for a little walk. Got Central Park right there across the way. So we start walking around in there. It is dark. Let me tell you what, it is dark. Author Neil Labute has penned some of the most controversial plays in the past 20 years. However, in an interview with Times and Seasons Online Journal from January 12, 2005, Labute revealed that the negative portrayal of many of his characters is not necessarily a bad thing. He insists that intelligent audiences can learn from negative behavior. The following selection will challenge some, but I hope more will learn from it. Gaggle of Saints by Neil Labute. So, we're walking around in that park, and the only thing you can see is lights from buildings way off in the distance. And that's when we see them. Both of them. LL Bean shirts on, whole thing. 2 grown men going with one another, kissing on one another like something out of Clark Gable film. Hands all over each other, tongues are all out. You know, I read the scriptures, and this is wrong. I mean, just wrong. I mean, you read about it, you hear about it, you even see it in that movie, that Superman thing. You live with it. You don't condone it for the world, but this, I figure, is flaunting it. I mean, we're in town for one night. One night, we got to witness this. 2 grown men going at one another like Romeo and Juliet. So, start tonguing one another, hands on each other's bottoms. I start to feel sick. I mean, just nauseous. Peck on the cheek, and one of them tears off down the trail, headed back over towards the west side. The other one, he starts to walk off over towards a men's room, big concrete building about 50 yards off. He was whistling while he goes. Not a care in the world, he was just whistling. Big concrete steps go down into it. And I motion for the boys, I say, follow me. And I tell them, wait outside. You know, wait for me to flush them out, and that's the plan, you know. And I go inside that men's room. And it is like stepping into another world. Let me tell you what. Got graffiti all over the place. The whole place stinks. A couple bulbs are burnt out. Some bums asleep in the corner. And I see it. I see our friend's legs sticking out from underneath one of the stalls. So I slip in the stall next to his, start fumbling with my belt, this and that. Sure enough, like clockwork, his hand comes up under my side of the partition. Big pink fingers wiggling up at me, imploring. I look down, and I notice he's got this ring on his pinky. Big gold band just glimmering in the light. I put my hand in his, and a couple minutes later, we're standing in front of the mirrors. trying to size one another up. Name's Chet, he says. You know, I don't bat an eyelash as he moves in. Lips kind of playing across my cheek. His tongue gliding across my teeth. And his hand moving down towards my fly. And then I licked him on the cheek. Just for a second, but I licked him on it. And then I let out a whistle. A real loud whistle too. Sent him reeling back, arms all out flailing. And he looks up, sees Tim and Dave standing in the hallway. He knows this ain't gonna be no good. This guy, Chet. Probably a VP up at a bank on Park Avenue, some shit like that. This grown man, he gets down on his knees, starts pleading and begging. Grown man, he even starts to wet himself. My first shot catches him right across the cheek. Sends him slamming up against the sink, all snot and blood spraying out everywhere. And suddenly there's so many of us hitting at him, tearing on him, it's hard to find an empty spot, but I know I connected a few more times. And after a while you feel his head, just the back of it, just softening as you go. But you find a new spot and move on. After a few minutes, tired, spent. And Tim, he gets this little run at it. Takes his foot, smashes into the bridge of that man's nose. I see a clear move to the other side of his face. Wow. Staring at this man who ain't moving. May never move again. And Dave reaches down, grabs his trash can. It's a big wire mesh thing. He holds it up over his head and says, "Fag." I'll never forget that, just fag. Brought that can down on the spine of that man. Heard him let out just a little whimper. Boom! And then I reached down and I pulled that ring right off his pinky. I told you I noticed it. And then after that, I still can't believe this happened, but we all start laughing. I mean, it's just so funny, you know. We look at him laying there like that, and it's just, we start giggling like little schoolgirls. And we tear off back down the trail, headed back over towards the hotel, whooping it up like war Indians. That bum in the corner, he never even woke up. We get on back over to the hotel, and I call up, and the girls say they'll be down in about 15 minutes. So Tim, he's walking along on the curb, you know, to himself, and Dave pulls me aside, says he wants to know something. Says he wants to know why I touched the guy. See, he'd looked in, he'd seen something. Wants to know why I let him kiss me. I don't know. I didn't have an answer for him. Isn't that strange? I did have a good meal, though. I'll tell you what, you can't find them thick German sausages for breakfast anywhere but Manhattan. In the middle of breakfast, pulled out that ring, I dropped it into Sue's water glass. "Happy anniversary," I said. That ring looked great on her. It did, just a little glint of gold, just a glimmer. So me and Sue, we decided to take the train on back home together, just the two of us. And, she sat next to me, all cuddled up, warm, protected. She faded off to sleep. And I looked out the window. Couldn't sleep. Just watched the lights as they danced by. Big moon grinning down at me. Then I began to whistle. I did. I can't recall what tune, but I did start to whistle. That much I remember.